The worst ever consoles. There are a lots of them. And there are, and today we are gonna cover the biggest project of Sony, the biggest of them, and the biggest failure in the company's history. The most expensive console starting from $700, the PS5 Pro, one of, if not the worst ever consoles that ever introduced by Sony. A console with no disk drive, just 2 terabytes, no stand, and even with a regular controller instead of the DualSense Pro. Well, it was really a big nightmare. The games, they look also the same, and they say there is an increase of performance about 30%, and that was a big lie. I mean, you can't see any the difference of it except for a couple of shadows and stuff of it, but really, that is not even the best idea of it to showcase your console. Well, the showcase was an absolute failure, and even YouTubers of it all around the world was shocked by the price, despite that they were they didn't believe it was $750. I mean, that was absolutely terrible. I mean, really? I mean, there are games eventually that they should support eventually the PS5 Pro, but in the end they didn't support even. That was a big lie too. I mean, we don't see really a difference in games, and they say eventually it's going up to 8K and this, never even passing eventually 120 frames. And that was a big lie too, because the console eventually, most of the games in the PS5 Pro doesn't even pass 60 frame per second. Some of the games eventually are 30 frame per second, and some of them are 60 frame per second. Even the PS4 Pro was better than it, and it was because of its cooling, and that's a fact. And even the PS5 Pro, they say that they have this PSSR eventually, or tongue twisting eventually, just called the AI library eventually, didn't do much of an effect either. That's why eventually the PS5 Pro is a failure. What was Sony thinking eventually of releasing the PS5 Pro if the performance eventually is not is actually closer to the regular version? I mean, the best thing that you can do eventually is buy the PS5 Slim, smaller, more compact eventually, and have at least a disk drive and a stand eventually. And even, and even, after 6 months eventually of its release eventually, nobody cared about it anymore eventually, and it was considered one of the biggest failure in video game history. It's your boy Razor, and see you guys next time.